Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. So today I am going to be going over making a Valentine's Day jumbo treat card. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing you're going to need, of course, is your image of choice. Today I am going to be working with size 13 by 19. The next thing you're going to need, of course, is a poster board. Well, not a poster board, but a foam board. And I think I got these ones from Walmart, but you can get them from the Dollar Tree as well. But I do prefer the ones from Walmart because they are a lot sturdier. The next thing you're going to need is a hard surface, something that you can cut on and it not damage the surface that you are cutting on. I'm using my mat. It's actually a mat by Fiskars. I'm going to be using this ruler. I'm going to be using this Elmer's Craft Bond along with an Xacto knife. And of course, we're going to need our cover to put our treats in. And then, of course, you're going to need some candies, different little candies. I got all of these candies from the Dollar Tree and Dollar General. And then you're going to need some tape. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into it. The first thing you want to do is use your adhesive spray, and you want to take it and you want to do a sweeping motion like back and forth. And also, if you are using this method, you want to try to put it on something that you don't really too much care about around the surface. And you don't want to use too much because number one, it's sticky, so it can get on around your surface. And then number two, if you use too much, it will bleed through your image, and we don't want that. So we're just going to use a little bit, and then we're going to plop it down onto this foam board. And then once you get it down to how you want it, then you just pat it down in place and then just smooth it out. And this is how it will look. And if this is for a customer, I suggest you use some gloves because you don't want to get like any images, any smudges on your image. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I'm gonna move this over some because I noticed it was kind of like off screen. So the next thing I'm going to do is just check to see if there are any corners or edges or anything that didn't get adhesive on it. And then if so, then I'll just do like a little dab like that. All right, so next we're gonna get into cutting. And I like to clean up as I go. I just can't work in a messy area. All right, so next I'm about to take my ruler, place it along the edge of your image. Y'all should be able to see pretty good right there. And then I'm just going to hold my ruler down very taut along the foam board. And then I'm going to take my Xacto knife and I'm pressing down very, very firmly, very firm against the ruler. So next we are going to take the ruler down this side of our image and make sure that it is lined up. And you can either do it this way, but me, I prefer to do it this way. So therefore, I make sure that my image is lined up correctly. And I just cut along. And you want to make sure that your Xacto knife is sliding down the ruler. That's how you know that you're getting a very good cut. All right. And then here's our extra piece that we will not need. And here is our jumbo tree card. This is the start of it. And then this is the other little piece. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our Xacto knife, and I am trying something new this year. I thought of it the other day and I was like, well, I want to try it. So we're going to try it. So what we're going to do is we are going to try to make this section like a door. So I am going to cut around and try to just leave this side uncut so it can be opened like on the back. Like, mind you, like I said, now we just trying this out on screen together for the first time. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. For this, like I said, just use the line as a guide. So we'll go ahead and try it together. Okay, all right. And if you want to, you can use your ruler. Matter of fact, I don't mess up too bad. I think I do want to use a ruler. So let's go ahead and get into it. Using the ruler. All right, so y'all can see me. So I'm gonna do a line down with y'all, and then I am going to cut the rest off of camera. Because like I said, I don't want this video being all long. All right, let's go ahead. Here we go. And remember, y'all, make sure that ruler is tight and the Xacto knife going straight on down. Okay. So that turned out pretty good. And then one way you can tell, it went all the way through. You can see that line right there. All right, y'all. So I got it cut all the way around now. And my little trick that I wanted to try, it absolutely did work. So what I did for the door was, I cut all the way through here. And then on this seam part, I put a little slit down, but not all the way through like I did here. And then I just bent it a little bit back so it'll open. So I really like that. I really like that method. Instead of taking the whole thing off from the front, you will be able to open it from the back. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and start adding the candy into our container. So I'm excited that that worked out the way that it did. All right, so for the door, you can either use like a piece of ribbon, just a small piece of ribbon, or you can use like one of the door hinges. And I bought these off Amazon. I'll link them in the description below, along with the Fiskars ruler and the Fiskars mat that I used. Here's what the little door hinges look like. Or you can use this. This comes with the door hinges. And you just put it on there and then you can close it like that. So I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to use just yet, but it'll be one of those 3 items. So let's go ahead. So that's how yours should look on the back. So let's go ahead and I'm going to place the candy inside the clear container. And what I did with my candy was I just folded it down and put a little piece of tape on there. And then also, if you want to, you could take like some little glue dots if you don't want your candy to move around. Now this part is, you know, it's up to you. I'm just giving y'all, you know, different ideas on how to place the candy in here. And then, so the candy don't move too much. You know what I'm saying? All right, so the next candy I'm gonna put in are the twin snakes. And I'm gonna add another little glue dot. I actually think I'm going to add in 2 glue dots on here. One at the top and one towards the bottom so that it'll adhere to the candy that's already in there and adhere to the plastic container. All right, so next I got some little miniature Hershey's candies. What I did for these little small bags was I put a little slit in there and then got out all the air and then put a piece of tape along there. So I think for these, I want them to go in there like that. And let's see, let's try to get that fixed up in there a little bit better. It look a little bit better. So yeah, so for these ones, if you want to use a glue dot, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And you can get the glue dots at Walmart or Dollar Tree. And then just put them on there, like I said, on the front. The next candy we're going to use are these. And then I may, let's see what that looked like down in there like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then the last candy I'm going to be using is this one. For yours, you can use whatever candy you want, however much candy, you know what I'm saying, will fit in there. I'm just using these candies for, you know, for this tutorial. And this is how the candy fits in. That looks good to me. The next thing you want to make sure that you have is a glue gun and some glue sticks, okay? Because you definitely will need that. So I take my glue gun and I run it all along the edge of the plastic container, and then I place it down. So let's go ahead, and you don't have to, you can if you want to, but hot glue, it dries so quick, and you have to be careful because since it is hot and it is plastic, you have to be careful because it will melt it. So don't have your hot glue gun directly down on your stuff, on the plastic. So, but you want to make sure that it's on there and it's locked in and it's secure. And I just place it on there like so. Okay. Hopefully y'all seen that. I kind of did that with a real flick of the wrist type moment. And this is how it looks. It looks so cute. And then let's go ahead and I want to show y'all how I'm going to do the back real quick. So as I was sitting here thinking and talking, I thought of the way that I'm going to do the back. So I am going to use the latch. That's what I'm going to use. Use the Xacto Knife. All right, trying to get them little pieces off of there is like a booger sometimes. It's hard to get off of there. So when y'all do this, what I do is, this piece got one too. You gotta take the little red piece off. When I am working with these hinges and stuff like this, I take it like this and I put it in there before I place it down so I can make sure that it is even so that the hinge will go in there. Okay? So this is how it looks. You all see that? And then the next thing I want to do is, I love bows. So I thought of to add this bow, to add a bow into the little circle part. All right, so I got my ribbon added into the little hole there. And then I'm just going to take it and tie it in a bow like that. Make it a nicer, neater looking bow like that. Cut the ribbon ends nice and neat. And voila, that's how it turned out. That's my spin on the jumbo tree cards for this year. I hope you guys liked the video, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to receive all the notifications. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.